Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today I'm doing something a little bit different. So for those of you guys familiar with my channel, I know I strictly pretty much only do movie and figure reviews of monster and kaiju and particularly Godzilla related stuff on my channel. But today, I thought I would do my sort of brief thoughts and a little review on Joker, the brand new movie starring Joaquin Phoenix and some other people that is in the Batman universe. Not actually connected to the cinematic universe that DC has been doing for a little while now. But I'm kind of glad it's not for a number of reasons, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, the only sort of real excuse I could think for doing this review is because at one point there was almost a Godzilla versus Batman crossover in film in the works. A very long time ago, it didn't happen, but you know, that's a cool little fact for you guys that you can research further on if you so choose. But yeah, let's get right into it. So, Joker is an origin story on one of DC, and if not DC's, then cinema's greatest villains, the Joker from the Batman comics and movies and stuff like that. It's a story about him, this character who's named Arthur Fleck, I believe, in the film, played by Joaquin Phoenix. I forget how his name's pronounced, but that doesn't matter. Basically, becoming the going from a very shy, very quiet, very troubled, mentally ill individual into this larger than life villain figure called the Joker. And unlike a lot of DC's latest films, this is a very dark and very grounded movie. It's not like your typical sort of action superhero movie. This is far more of a not even far more, just it is a drama. It's a psychological thriller, a drama, and it feels more like an art house movie or like a foreign film, that kind of thing. So if you're into those, which I totally am, this is going to be the movie for you. And personally, I'd say this is the best movie that's come from DC live action wise since the Christopher Nolan trilogy, in particular The Dark Knight, which again had Heath Ledger's Joker, which is a role that's really hard to compare to, because what we had Jared Leto, and no, that didn't go too well since then. But this version of the Joker is, I'm gonna just say it, it's fantastic. It's really well done. And it's one of the best films of the year, to be honest. I mean, King of the Monsters is still gonna be my number one movie of the year for obvious reasons. I mean, if you just look at the rest of my room, but but as far as just movies go, this is a really great one. So it tackles a lot of themes of like mental illness, poverty, and kind of being disenfranchised by the upper class. A lot of political stuff going on in there. And what's really great about this film is no matter which way you kind of look at it, you can draw something unique from it depending on what perspective you're looking at it. Like, of course, we've had some issues in the media of people just totally causing a fear mongering from this film, which I think is just appalling, and it almost feels like they're egging on people to try and cause like a mass shooting or something from this, because the film is actually incredibly critical of the media, and it's really telling with what's been going on with that. But I don't really want to touch on that too much in this review. What I will say, I'll talk a little bit about the setting. This film is set in 1981, I believe, in Gotham City, which of course is based off New York. And this film really feels like, I know it's set in the 80s because of the technology, the cars and the phones and the color TV and all that, but it feels so much more like it's set in the 1930s in New York. It's really got that vibe. Like if you think of the intro to Peter Jackson's King Kong, that sort of 1930s Great Depression era kind of thing going on. There's a lot of social issues going on. It feels really gritty, like there's a garbage strike going on, so there's garbage everywhere, and just the kind of look of the place, it's got that really gritty, sort of grounded feel from those times, which is really cool. Add to that, it's just got this sort of vintage glow to it that you get with a lot of these sort of films. that's set back in the day that I really love. It's filmed beautifully. The cinematography in this film is fantastic. The use of various lenses and framing and just the way the shots are cut together and color, I love it. It's done really, really well. And adding to this sort of vibe of the film, we got the music. The music also feels like, oh, just these big orchestral swells. It feels like of another time, and it just adds to this whole vibe of this film that I absolutely, absolutely love, and is something that I've just been missing from cinema for quite a while now. So they did a great job with that. Furthermore, it just really astounds me the people the guy who directed this was the same guy who did the Hangover series, which I don't think I've watched. No, I haven't watched, but I've definitely seen clips of it and heard about it, and it just blows my mind because this really seems like much more of an art house like foreign film to come out from a director like that. It's just so surprising, but he did a fantastic job, as did everybody. And in particular, Joaquin Phoenix, I believe that's how his name is pronounced, plays our lead. He carries this film, and he carries it really well. So he plays Arthur Fleck, who, of course, becomes the Joker. So he starts off as, well, he's always a mentally challenged individual in this film, but he starts off very timid and very shy and kind of really beaten down by the world and is struggling a lot. And over the course of this film, basically everyone he knows basically betrays him in some way, shape, or form, and just the world beats down upon him. And it's kind of the story of this guy accidentally starting an uprising and a revolution with the image of his face as the sort of poster of this revolution, whilst basically finding his confidence and learning to get out of his shell and try and overcome everything going around him in some very questionable and unethical ways. But that's sort of the beauty of this film, that you actually, even though this guy does do all these horrible things and becomes basically a monster, you actually see his reason for doing these things and justification and why it happens, and you relate to this character in a very similar way to Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange and Alex Delage in that sort of film. A very similar sort of character as that in this film. But the way it's done is you can really understand the background of him, and the actor, he carries it beautifully. Like, you really believe this guy has these mental issues, and it's played in such a down-to-earth way that it's just really captivating and really beautifully done. Basically, I highly recommend you check out this movie. It's beautifully made. It really makes you think, and it's just a joy to watch. And I had the wonderful chance to see this film in a beautiful local theater. The decor in the theater was really kind of felt like a theater that was made in around the 30s or something like that. And it just really fits the tone of this film. So I've seen it twice since then. It's been like a week or two since I actually saw it last, but I since that time I have really wanted to do a review on it because I thought it's a great film, and I should recommend it to you guys. Sorry that was a bit of a ramble. I'll try and get into some better critiques of films as I go along. Yeah, that's it for this little video here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or don't, like whatever floats your boat. And yeah, may all your vinyl be irradiated vinyl. Over and out!